Welcome to Doing Business in Rwanda. My name is George Ndirangu. Now, according to earlier released GDP results, it was noted that industries which expanded by 6% contributed 0.9 of the country's GDP. Now, of course, with this growth, there has been some expectations that it will match up to the standards and the targets set within the Vision 2020 and the EDPRS 2 targets. Now, today we have with us, joining us, the Honorable Minister Francois Kanimba, the Minister of Trade and Industry, to tell us more about some of these constraints that will be faced as we aim to reach these targets, and some of the challenges and the projections that the ministry has. So thank you very much for joining us, Honorable Minister.
Thank you.
All right, and now we'll start, of course, number one, everything that is done within this country is done with the intention of ensuring that the consumer and the local population makes the most out of their produce or their finances. So we'll start with consumer protection. Now, the government was on its way to set up a body to promote fair competition among the producers to handle the consumer protection and to ensure that the standards are maintained. Now, what exactly does a body like this focused on consumer protection entail?
Oh, thank you very much. As you said, we're in a process of establishing a very strong regulator, which is going to mainly enforce the current legal framework for competition and consumer protection, but also will take a big part of the current mandate of the former Rwanda Standard Board, where the institution used not only to set standards, but also to go down there and check if the citizens, the traders are complying with the set standards.
Rwanda has constantly been under fire in regional and global markets about the shelf life of some of its products. It has been noted that the product is really good, but the packaging does not match what the product is selling. So is this a priority concern for the ministry?
Yeah, it's a very big concern, actually. When you go around discuss with the small and medium industry of the country, they all complain about the issue of packaging. We don't have yet here in the country a very strong industry which manufacture packaging products, and our SMEs go far away to procure packaging products. It's timely, it's costly, and sometimes doesn't match exactly with what industries are looking for. So it has been an issue. It has been an issue. Also, as you know, the Rwanda environmental policy has banned the use of plastics in Rwanda, and for industries to struggle to find alternative packaging to plastics is a process. And sometimes it has been quite very challenging for them, and we still discussing to see how to facilitate our industries to address these issues. We are in a process of establishing a manufacturing facility which can address packaging issues, even if need be, government will participate in the investment directly.
All right, thank you for that. Now, moving on to industry and SME development, plans were underway to have the Export Guarantee Fund, but now one of the biggest challenges faced is that there's a lot of taxation on most of these policies that are set in terms of insurance and in terms of import and export. So how exactly is the balance set?
It's always an issue when a country is really striving to strengthen tax administration. When you are in a context where a number of economic operators have been operating in a framework close to informality and are not used to pay taxes, or find compliance is quite costly, so they face such kind of a challenge when they are to work with the tax authority, which is modernizing itself. So these are the issues we, from time to time, are faced with. But in my view, these are temporary. I'm sure 100% that it's a question of time. In a few years, they will feel compatible with new tax administration.
Now, there is a need to promote and prioritize the ongoing regional promotion initiatives, but of course, we're sure there have been some hindrances. What exactly are some of these concerns that we are facing constantly, and are they a priority concern, or are they things that are tackled as the sectors are handled day to day?
Rwanda is very proactive of regional integration. This is part of our vision because the country is physically small. To really grow, we need to open up, to think beyond our borders. That's the reason why we fully support regional integration processes. We have been very proactive within the East African community. We have been very proactive within the COMESA. But as you say, the problem you have within these regional economic groupings, sometimes we agree on the policies, but when it comes to implementation, there is gaps between the decision makers and the implementers. It takes a long time to translate in real trade facilitation on the ground, even if decisions which have been taken by different decision-making organs are okay.
All right, now the Ministry of Trade and Industry, of course, has the rural industrial parks that you intend to have businesses there. Now, what volumes of trade coming in and out do we expect from such a convention, such a park, a rural industrial park?
Well, the main purpose of investing public money in developing industrial zone is that wherever you go in development countries to attract investment in manufacturing, the first thing we have to do is to address quickly the issue of facilitating access to service land to investments in manufacturing. When someone wants to take a decision to establish a manufacturing in a country, if he has to spend 1.5 years to look for land and to negotiate with the utilities company to connect the land to the water, electricity, you understand what does it mean in terms of investment decision. If we can get such facilities in another country, he will not hesitate to go where he is facilitated. That's the reason why Rwanda has been looking to this. When you go around and see the Kigali Special Economic Zone, it's quite attracting investment. Now, the first phase of Kigali Special Economic Zone has been fully booked, and the second phase, which is in the process of being developed, also I'm told is booked above 8%. Such kind of interest actually have incentivized us to go out to Kigali and identify other land where we can develop similar facilities. So we have now 4 provincial industrial parks where we have completed the process of earmarking the land, expropriating the land to make it free, zoning to make sure if someone wants to establish an industry somewhere, you can just indicate him where he can go without any ambiguity. Now the next step is to connect this infrastructure to the main utilities, electricity, water, fiber optic, to make sure that an investor, when he comes in, he doesn't lose his time. So now we are busy. There are a number of investors coming from different parts of the world, looking to Rwanda for investment opportunities. We have been discussing this policy, and people seem to be interested. Even if they don't take a decision today, maybe tomorrow, in 1 year, 2 years, we will see more and more investors coming to take advantage of these facilities.
Yes, and I remember you mentioned that exact same point, that investors show interest, but they wait for others to first put it in, and then they say, oh, this actually really works. But we've seen more and more FDIs coming in, so it's more hopeful for that. Now, my final question, of course, has to deal with how products are going to move from Rwanda to different markets. And we have the cross-border market. We want to talk about the progress on that. Now, there are 6 markets currently in progress, costing a total of 1.7 billion Rwandan francs.
Actually, it is an average, the cost of one market.
Oh, really?
Yes.
1.7 billion?
Yes.
All right, so tell us more about that and how exactly this intends to happen.
Thank you very much, because this is a very important program for Rwanda when we think about what should be done, where are the quick wins really to increase our exports. Currently, even without such a kind of effort, we see the cross-border trade in Rwanda, meaning particularly the small traders who are crossing borders on a daily basis with small volumes of goods, both sides. When you look at on an annual basis, the volume of such kind of exports from Rwanda to neighboring countries represent roughly 20% of the total export from Rwanda to the world. And when you talk to these traders, understand what they are trading in, what the obstacles they have, what should be done to increase, what is the potential to increase the volume, it's huge. That's exactly how the idea of modernizing our cross-border market infrastructure came up as a priority. But the program of cross-border management, cross-border trade, goes beyond market infrastructure. It includes also support to traders in terms of capacity building, in terms of facilitating them access to finance, but also providing them with more market information on what are the opportunities across the border. In my view, without a lot of sophisticated calculation, I'm convinced once this infrastructure and different markets will be completed, we can easily increase our cross-border trade with neighboring countries 5 times in a short period of time. That's my expectation.
Well, thank you very much, Honorable Minister, for your time. And of course, we shall be keen to follow up on what you've told us in the different projects that you have. And of course, we'll ensure that you keep us updated. That was Honorable Minister for Trade and Industry, Honorable Francois Kanimba, giving us the vision and the constraints in terms of achieving the Vision 2020 and EDPRS 2 targets. And now, to find out more about the fast-paced progress of Rwanda, log on to www.cnbcafrica.com, or to give us insight and feedback on the show, email us at dbir@abn360.com or tweet us at DBI Rwanda. On behalf of the entire Doing Business in Rwanda team, my name is George Ndirangu. Keep it CNBC Africa, first in business worldwide.